And once you get into like connecting with plants and connecting with candles and connecting with your body through movement and your breath and your inner stirrings of your mind through journaling and all the things you're being coached into how to do through SoulFull seasons, then, oh my gosh, everything really changes.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to the Spiritual Hangout. I am your guide, your host, your friend, Leslie Demai. And today my setup's a little different. So I just wanted to pop on in here before we speak to our amazing guest, Dia, and just let you know it's going to be a little different today. I am traveling, but I really wanted to get today's message out and have this talk with Dia. And if you're new to the Spiritual Hangout, welcome. This is a place where we have higher conscious conversations aimed to guide you on your spiritual journey. And also, if you're not on the Instagram or Facebook community, you can join us there at the Spiritual Hangout, where I'm constantly posting inspirations and my daily crazy adventures. So today's guest is Dia Michelle, and she's the co-creator of Healing Sisterhood, a community empowering you to become your own healer, your own therapist. And she's also the author of Transform Your Life Through Journaling and Ritual. So we definitely speak the same language. She's also an old friend of mine. We met out in Bali, so I cannot wait to catch up with her. Something new that's she's working on too is she's a new meditation teacher on the Insight app Timer, which is the #1 app for sleep, anxiety, and stress. So proud of her there. Without further ado, let's talk to Dia. Okay, welcome to the Spiritual Hangout, Dia. Thank you for coming on and connecting with us.
Thank you so much for having me, Leslie. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, okay. First of all, we were just having a side note combo here. We were just having a little conversation about how cozy we are today. And I said, girl, you're in the right place. It's snowing outside where I'm at. And so did you bring your tea?
Oh, let me go get it real quick because it's in the other room. How could I forget?
Go grab it. It's all good.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay. So Dia's just walking away to get her tea. But yeah, I'm super cozy today. And I'm like, I'm putting my sweater on. I want comfy textures and just like catching up with my girl here.
Yes, I'm so excited to catch up with my girl.
It's been a long time. So in case, you guys listening or watching, Dia and I go back to maybe like 5 years ago, I want to say close to 5 years, when we were both living out in Bali. We were in Ubud. And Dia, okay, I was remembering when you were the feather woman, like you would feather up everyone in Bali. So true. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, it was really fun to feather everyone up. And I just took my feathers out too. Can you believe it? I feel like a hypocrite having this conversation with naked hair. But yes, we would, should I put on feather earrings?
Do it.
Conversation. Okay. It's like dress up time. Do you have any of your feather stuff, Leslie?
Oh my goodness. The feathers that I did keep are still in Bali. But I'm going to put a picture of my hair after you feathered it. I loved it. See, those are gorgeous.
I know. These are my wedding feather earrings.
Okay. And congratulations on getting married.
Thank you. It was a surprise wedding. Can you believe it?
How so?
Like, I didn't know I was getting married until 2 hours before.
Didn't you propose to her?
Yes, for the first time, but we had decided that we would propose to each other. So I proposed to her first, and then she proposed to me, and then 2 hours later we got married. But we had ahead of time that would be a cool idea. I just didn't think that was happening because I also thought we had agreed we were getting married in Mexico. But instead, we just got married real quick, randomly in McCall, Idaho, and it was perfect.
Oh my God, I saw the pictures, and I'll also put pictures of, if you don't mind. It was just so beautiful and so real. You guys seem so grounded on that hill, and like, it was so beautiful. I think that's what's most important is sometimes we take too much time planning things out. And I have experience in this arena where it's like you're planning everything to a T, where it just becomes a production. And sometimes people postpone weddings, and that creates some resistance, I feel. So I think that's awesome you guys did that, and you seem really happy. So I'm truly just so happy for you on this new venture.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted, was to not have it be overthought and overdone and have it be like, a big drama and hurting anyone's feelings about all the things involved in weddings. I just couldn't deal. So that's why I was like, if you ever threw me a surprise wedding, that would be like absolutely ideal. And then she did.
Oh,
So
I love that. I
here
love
we are.
that.
But yes, here are some of the feathers, and we did have a great time with all of our feather parties, and it was such a magical time to be in Bali. I feel like that was really such a special time.
Looking back at it, it totally was. It's a little heartbreaking right now, since COVID. Tourism has obviously, been at a standstill, and, I'm still hearing stories from my Bali family out there who, they aren't getting jobs anymore. A lot of the, a lot of career paths out there, it's like taxi drivers, obviously the masseuse, restaurant owners. And so people are really suffering out in Bali in terms of just not being able to work regularly. And I would actually love to kind of set something up to send some, aid and some relief out there for my Bali family and those surrounding them as well. Because, as a collective, they're all kind of really taking a blow due to COVID. But I feel like we can reach out to those who touched us on a personal level, at least,
Yes. And that's actually such a great idea. So I've been really excited to keep the feather thing going because it's supporting so many mothers in Bali. There's like 50 mothers that are making these earrings, and they're getting to be entrepreneurs, and they get to make their own schedule. And the feather family like takes care of their kids' school and everything. So they're really taken care of. So if you ever have any vision about like doing feather things, that can really help them too. Like they totally make their living off of feathers, like a lot of women out there. So that's a cool thing to keep in mind if you have any vision.
Where are you selling the feathers right now? Because you have all sorts of colors, you have adornments. Like I used to have a choker with a similar band as this one with an Om symbol and then the feather hanging down, which I would rock that one all the time. So are you selling these online right now?
So they are being sold on plumeangel.com, but I also have a stash that I sell, but I'm not being like very outward about it. When I'm rocking the hair feathers or any of the other accessories, people will just come up to me and then they'll want them, and maybe I'll sell some that way, but I'm not like trying or making a big mission to it outright because I have so many other things going on right now. But I do have a stash, and whenever I run out, I order more. And sometimes people around here request feather parties and stuff like that, which are always my favorite.
Wow.
So yeah,
the best way to have a conversation. It's like while you're feathering someone's hair and then they see the after. I mean, I just remember how exciting that was. And so Plume, can you spell it out for us?
Plume Angel, Plume, Angel, one word. So it's just plumeangel.com. That's where people can go and see every single variety of all the colors and all the things they offer. I mean, I have some other stuff because like some of my stuff might go back like a couple of seasons or whatever. So I might have some stuff that's not on the website, but there's a lot on the website.
Okay, very cool. I'm going to support. I don't have my feathers, and I at least want to, have one or two in there. Why not?
Yes, for sure. Well, if you want me to ship you any, just let me know and I can. Or if you just want to order them from online, they just have to get shipped from Bali. So it might be a little quicker if you order from me, but either way.
Yeah, either way, we'll have, on the description link below, we'll have the links to that. And once I get them, I'll put them on my Insta too. Cause I want to get my hands on those feathers.
Yeah, they're really magical, right? Like even after I just put on these earrings, I feel so much more confident. There's really feathers.
Yeah. So anyhow, it's so funny because now we're back in the States and you're in Idaho.
Yes.
And you're busy. I'm in Indiana right now. Yeah. I'm mostly based out in LA, but I'm still lucky and privileged enough to travel. And so I'm here now and it's been incredible. It's been almost a week and I just feel so much at ease right now. Being in the city is really, it desensitizes you in some ways. I feel. And since I've been here, I just feel like I've had room to breathe. I've been sleeping in. I've been able to go to restaurants and dine in again and just feel like the energy of people having conversations and eating dinner together. It's just so strange to me, but in a beautiful way, because obviously in LA, everything's been locked down. So I'm just like on cloud nine right now.
Amazing. So what part of Indiana are you in?
I'm very close to Indianapolis.
Okay. So this is a really fun synchronicity that I didn't think of until just now. But you know how I'm telling you about this SoulFull Seasons collab that's going on right now and about Marana Love, who started it?
Yes.
She's an indie girl.
No way.
Yeah. Can you believe it? You could go meet her right now if you wanted to.
Where does she live?
Well, actually, now that I say that, I used to go visit her in Indianapolis and I love that place. But she since moved to this town and I always get the name wrong. I get it wrong. It's like not Fayetteville, but something like that. Like Fayette something. Lafayette, maybe? Maybe Lafayette.
Okay, I'm going to find out.
Yeah.
And I just checked out that website and we'll talk about that in just a few because, oh my goodness, that is a beautiful platform.
Yes, isn't it? Just a feast for the senses.
It's beautiful. So I can't wait to talk about that. You guys, this episode is truly for our soul sisters. Dia, you are just a feminine, like you are so grounded in your femininity, but in a very balanced way, I feel. And you are a true nurturer to everyone you meet. You are like so bubbly and full of love and life, and you just spread that all around. So I'm so glad that you created these little communities, these projects, these babies you've probably been like raising up. So can we start? What began first? Was it your book or was it the Soul Healing Sisterhood?
Oh, by book, do you mean the Transform book?
Yes.
Okay, so Soul Healing Sisterhood started first.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Okay.
Because how has it been facilitating this digital space for fellow sisters on the community? That's an honor to be that guide for us. How has that been?
Oh my gosh, it's been so amazing. Because what happened was, like all of us, when COVID hit, we had to pivot our lives, right? And our visions for what we were going to do if it had anything to do with being in person with people, right? And so Sarah Brianna Smith and I, she's the co-founder of Soul Healing Sisterhood. We had these visions to do some retreats. We definitely wanted to do one in Bali. That was the first one we were going to do. And I was shopping around when I was living there. I was shopping all around for like the perfect location where we wanted to have it. And we were really nailing down like all of the details. Mm-hmm. And then COVID hit and we were like, oh, none of us knew how long it would happen. And then eventually we're like, we got to move to an online platform because like, why should we just wait, until we can be in person? Let's just do it online. So that's how it started. So it's been a really cool way to connect with a bunch of women and then be able to feel into what the needs were and see how we could step into a space of helping. So we've offered a lot of free challenges and stuff like that, which has been really cool because for us, it's like we get to dream up how we could best support people. But then once we put it out there and the sisters take hold of it and it's all been very interactive, we encourage everyone to post photos and sharing about how their experience has been. And then they just really light the fire in one another. Like, I really love how the community has risen up to support each other. So it really does feel like a digital sisterhood. And I feel like now it's kind of its own thing. I don't even feel as much like the facilitator anymore as it's just like this sisterhood that is a sisterhood and there's no leader in a sisterhood. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's how it feels at this point. So it was a lot of work at first, but it's been so worth it.
That's amazing. Yeah, there's been so many blessings that have come with COVID. There's been ways to connect with people that you wouldn't be able to before because retreats are amazing, but people can't take time away from work sometimes and they can't travel. So now I feel like you're bringing in those people that probably wish they could have always done that. And now they're experiencing it in a different way. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I love that you said you don't feel like you're the leader. It's just kind of become its own, it's like manifested through everyone.
Yeah.
I joined a while back and it was just so authentic. It seemed so just genuine and real and very approachable for people to join. So what kind of women are you noticing joining the platform?
Oh, just all kinds of women. And they are from all around the world and they are all ages and they are all participating, in all different walks of life. I think that's the coolest part about it is I can't tell you like one type of woman who's attracted to it. Have you noticed that too? It's every kind of woman, every kind of woman. there.
But that's what I love about it, because some, I've checked out different platforms, and some platforms definitely feel more age restricted. And I'm way more open. Like, I like dealing and working with older women as well, or younger women as well. So your platform definitely has that variety, which again, really makes it feel more welcoming to everyone.
Yeah. I think so. I'm so glad that you could feel that as a member of the community.
So talk to us about it. Like, someone who's listening and they're like, okay, this sounds kind of cool. Kind of talk us through what it's like when you join, and how active it is, and all of that.
Well, so first of all, it's a Facebook group. So it's called Healing Sisterhood, a sacred journey to self-love. And so once you get in there, there's a welcome message. And first you answer all these questions about your favorite kinds of self-care and agree to all the rules of being respectful and everything. And then you come on in and there's a welcome, and a lot of women come in and introduce themselves because we ask them to do that. And I have to say that lately it's been a little bit less active than it was at the beginning, because I just got back from being gone and there's been a lot of stuff going on, but it's about to get more active, especially because of this SoulFull seasons thing that's going on with Marana, who's from Indianapolis. That's kind of how it goes. Like, it ebbs and flows, the nature of the Soul Healing Sisterhood. So when a sister comes to us and they're really excited about a project, or we're really excited about something that we're offering, then all of a sudden we're like all up in the sisterhood and we're like, you got to check this out. But other than that, it's like, this is why I feel like it's its own thing now, because when we first started it, I really felt like every other day at least I've got to be in there, like posting something and encouraging interaction. So between Sarah and I, it was every day we were in there. And now I'm not worrying about it so much, but other sisters come in with their things all the time. But as with anything, when we have something really exciting that we're pushing, then we're in there a lot more. So right now it's all about the SoulFull season stuff. So Sarah and Steph Schrock, or Marana, as she goes by, the girl from Indy, they just have we have a lot of free ceremonies in the group, like moon ceremonies. And the other day they did an Imbolc ceremony, which is like a Gaelic.
What was that?
Well, I actually wasn't a part of it because I had a sweat lodge that same night, so I couldn't be there. But they were, but it was a seasonal ceremony that's like the time in between the winter solstice and the spring. It's just like this space between that is celebrated. Ireland, like, it's a very common thing apparently over there. It's like a big celebration time, but it's like the quiet celebration of like this in between time. So they held a ceremony for that, and there were like 20 women that showed up, I think, and everyone got to share and do some movement and have some self-love time.
Beautiful. And that was through Marana Love?
Yeah, so it was all her idea, and then Sarah co-facilitated with her. And it was also to introduce the idea of SoulFull seasons, because that was a very seasonal celebration, and that's the nature of SoulFull seasons.
Right. So let's just start talking about that, because Soul Healing Sisterhood has now opened up kind of like an even bigger space, which is in collaboration with Marana Love. And I will also have the website down below. It's maranalove.com. And I'm so excited about this because, oh my goodness, this is what I'm all about. And I think a lot of our listeners are all about this: sacred rituals, yoga, mindfulness practices, connection, nature, sisterhood.
Yes.
So now it seems like there's more going on. There's like, and this is all per the season, per the time.
Yes.
Okay, so talk to us about this. And when does it start? Because people still join.
Yeah, you can. So the cart was going to close on February 12th. But then once I told Marana Love I was coming on this podcast, she said for spiritual hangout listeners, they have until February 14th, Valentine's Day, which is perfect.
Oh my gosh. Awesome. Okay. Yeah. So I want to join too. I want to join too. The layout is absolutely stunning. And you ladies are living what you teach, what you preach, which is like, to me, is the most important thing. For people that aren't used to sacred rituals and, crystals, I saw you have like DIY herbals, and I'm like, yes, this is what I'm all about. Like, let's do this. What's the importance of, what is that?
Wheatgrass. I just like burn something right now. We're talking.
I do that too. I'm like, I need my lighter. Hold on. Where's my lighter? I think I have one here too. Okay.
Let's light things.
But what is that for reals, Dia?
This is braided sweetgrass, which is just amazing. If you've never used it, I'm sure you can get your hands on some in Indy. You need to connect with Marana Love, because she is the most botanical. She's the biggest botanical queen that I know. She like grows everything and all those beautiful smudge sticks that were in those pictures. She hand makes all of those.
Oh my gosh. Okay, you guys, Dia, if you cannot watch this, is holding a green braided weed. It almost looks like it's like wicker.
It's sweetgrass. It grows by the river and then it's braided. It's very common in Native American tribes. There's actually this book that is so beautiful and you have to read it, called Braided Sweetgrass. And I'm reading it now. It's so beautiful.
Literally called braided sweetgrass.
But you'll get it when it's the most sacred thing. And the intro is all about how sacred it is to braid this sweetgrass, because it takes two people. You can't really do it yourself unless you were to like tie it to a chair, but that's not that's not the nature of it though. The whole point is that you're connecting with another sister, and then you're like pushing and pulling against each other, and you're doing this it's like the most intimate thing you can do is like braid each other's hair, ever since we were little.
And hence that goes with the feathering too.
Yes, exactly. And so to braid sweetgrass together is a very sacred sisterhood connecting time. And then the intentions and the warmth and the connection go into it, the energy. So when you burn it and it just smells like the best thing ever. They say that when you burn this, you remember things that you didn't even know you forgot.
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. I had never heard of this.
Oh my gosh, you're going to see it everywhere now that you know about it.
Yeah, I definitely want to connect with Marana now. I'm meeting pretty soon, but you never know.
Yeah, you never know. Maybe she'll be in India or something.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. Well, you're definitely connected now.
What'd you say?
You're definitely connected now.
I am.
Yeah.
I totally am. And you also mentioned, if you guys are listening to this and you're like, okay, I want to be a part of this. Like, you're already teaching me something new, Dia. Like, you literally just lifted that thing up and I'm like, I've never seen that in my life. What is that? And, and I had to ask. So like, these communities are so great because we're always learning from each other, So I heard from a little bird that the Spiritual Hangout listeners were going to be getting a discount code.
Absolutely. Just with the two cool words, spiritual hangout, they will get 10% off for your fine listeners. And I think this is just such a match made in heaven. I feel like your listeners are going to really love this offering. And it's every week, by the way. So every week they get a different offering, including all those things that you mentioned with like the movement, the meditation, the herbal DIY recipes, and like what to do with it and why.
So does that get shipped to you?
Well, it's like, from my understanding, it's emailed to you.
Okay.
Because she thought about like sending out all the botanicals and everything that you need to DIY, but she decided not to, because she really wants to empower people to like discover where to shop local and like what herbs are local and where they can find those locally, be able to create it themselves, because that's a lot of the part of the magic.
It is. It totally is. Being out here. What's up?
But they'll have the recipes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then I'm going to be providing a journal prompt for every week, because journal therapy is something I really, really believe in and promote with all of my clients and in my own life. You got your journal,
Yes. All of these practices are essentially, they become our rituals, our daily rituals. All right. For people that don't incorporate rituals of these sorts, I mean, we all have our own types of rituals, right? Anything like the way you brush your teeth, everything that can be a type of ritual. But for people that maybe don't implement like crystals and burning things, like what are 3 easy, practical, intentional rituals that someone can start incorporating on a day-to-day basis? And what is the importance of a ritual? Like, why do we do this?
Well, I guess, it could be, this is a very personal question. I can give it to you from my perspective. And I think part of the thing that's so beautiful is the personal nature of it. To me, what's so important about having rituals is just simply becoming mindful. And to me, a part of that is becoming, or just remembering to be grateful. Like if we just take a minute to drop in at literally any moment in our life, we could remember how much we have to be grateful for. But when we don't take the time to do that, we can get carried away in all the stress of the world. And then that's the opposite of gratitude. And that's like what puts us into a scarcity mindset. And what we want is an abundant mindset. And that comes from gratitude. So it's really a way of like setting some anchors in your life that can remind you to shift your perspective and remember how much there is to be grateful for. So for me, I love doing that when I'm in the shower. I just like have this thing where I imagine that I'm like standing underneath a waterfall and I'm just so grateful for the water coming into every pore of my skin. Like water, for me, water is so powerful. So just really connecting with the water and saying, thank you, water, for being here in my life, for like cleaning me, for being so abundant in my life. I can drink you whenever I need you. So for me, a shower time is a ritual time for me. That's something that everybody does. So that's not like, I also have my journaling rituals and my lighting of the candle rituals. But like you mentioned, brushing your teeth, that could be a ritual. Every time you brush your teeth, you could be like, thank you so much, teeth, that you let me eat all the delicious food. Thank you so much for this toothbrush. Thank you so much for this water. And then it's like a self-love moment, like what do my teeth need right now? And I don't know, that's how I like to do rituals.
And how do they feel? And like all of these things that we do on a day-to-day basis, like you said, if you drop in and take the time to actually notice what you're doing in gratitude, because we tend to not even think about the little things until something goes wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything is, you have our machine bodies here, right? Like as soon as something happens to our machine body, then we're like, oh my gosh. And then you get that relief once the pain subsides and you're like, whew. But we don't have to wait until our body cries out to us or until shit hits the fan. Like we can truly take time in anything that we do to generate gratitude and to really open your eyes and take a look around and just realize how lucky and blessed we are.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's really the name of the game. It can seem like a simple thing, but it's also extremely profound. Because once you start taking these little moments to notice what you're doing and just drop into this human experience and have gratitude, eventually that becomes a totally different way of looking at the world. And that becomes a totally different place where you're making choices from.
It's a mind shift. It's really a way to start cleaning out your mind and living more in your heart and in that gratitude space.
Yeah. And once you get into like connecting with plants and connecting with candles and connecting with your body through movement and your breath and your inner stirrings of your mind through journaling and all the things you're being coached into how to do through SoulFull seasons, then, oh my gosh, everything really changes,
Like a miracle, a mini miracle.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's something about having that sisterhood that just brings like a momentum to it all. It really helps to gather all of the energies and really be in it together as like a whole, but also individually.
Yes. It's so important because we play off each other. Just like this call right now with you. I'm feeling so much more energized. How about you?
Yeah. It's that human connection. It's all that we want. That's our nature. So surround yourself, create your space that's in alignment with your true self, the part of you that is full of gratitude, the part of you that is, a beautiful being that has so much to offer to other people. But you have to fill your cup up first before you can serve anyone else.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why it's important to, sometimes you got to pay money to be a part of something, but you're worth every penny. And the abundance you're going to get in return is going to serve everyone else.
Yeah.
So it's so important for mothers and people that are really on lockdown right now to create your environment, create your reality. And, Marana Love, the Soul Healing Sisterhood, like all of that is a beautiful gift and it's a tool. So I cannot wait to embark on this journey with you guys. These are things I practice on a day-to-day level, and my friends do too. But there is something beautiful about joining the momentum you guys are creating with this, this project. It's going to be like a way of being. So
yes, exactly. Yes. And
right.
Say that you are like, you become the 4 people that you hang out with the most or something, like, because we rub off on each other so much, right? And I know a lot of us that are experiencing lockdown to whatever degree, it's like we might be stuck with the same people. Hopefully we like them a lot. Hopefully they're uplifting. Like maybe they're super different. But anyway, if this is something that people are interested in getting more into in their own life and how to change their perspective, it's really important to plug into a new community that is doing this, that is excited about it, because then you feed off of each other's momentum and you can create this new circle, even if it's not right there under your roof in lockdown with you. It is virtually, because we're so lucky to have that option now. And that's, how you begin to create a new reality. This accountability is so important, and the community aspect.
It is, especially during times in your life where your spark's a little dim, for whatever reason. So if, I know a lot of us, we put up this front to social media, that we're good, we're fine, and all of that. But, this is more than just a social media platform. This is an actual, like energetic digital space you guys have curated for anyone to join with an open heart. So no judgment. And this is just about empowering one another.
Beautifully said, Leslie.
Thank you. All right. So you have been very busy with getting married and creating all these amazing projects. So let's talk about your book now. A little bit about how, like, what inspired you to write this book and create this. I know you give a lot of prompts, like journaling prompts and all that. Like, what inspired you to do this, and like who would benefit from this book?
Okay, so are you talking about the Transform book or the one I'm currently writing? The Transform one. Okay.
And then we can talk about the one you're currently writing, because I did not know that was going on. Let's talk about that too.
Yes, I'm writing a book. Okay. But the book that Sarah and I co-wrote, oh my gosh, it's amazing. So it's called, well, right along the vein of what we're talking about, Transform Your Life Through Journaling and Ritual. And this is really funny because it started off as an idea to have a 1-page PDF that we share with the sisters. That will be like a ritual and a journal prompt, but then it turned into a whole thing. So it's an ebook. So we chose not to print any because, well, we want to save some trees, and it's very visually beautiful. I think that the experience of going through it is really beautiful in a way that you can't do, or I haven't seen done when people are printing books these days, probably because it would be really expensive to do that. But anyway, so there's a ritual for each week. So Sarah starts off describing a ritual, and they're very simple. Like, one of them is exactly what I just did, which was light this sweetgrass, although she recommends sage because it's a technique for clearing negative energy, as I'm sure you know about, right? So it's just about how to burn sage mindfully and clear out energy in your house or from your body or your space. And so she walks you through it, and then in a very simple way, it's like a paragraph. And then you are empowered to go do it however you want, find your sage however you want. And then there's journal prompts that go along with that experience. So there's like 7 journal prompts for each day of the week. And then you're encouraged to do the saging every day. And then the next week it's a different ritual. And then it goes on for all months. So it's a 30-day process.
Beautiful.
So it's like a 101. It's like spirituality. A 1 for journaling and ritual. So it's like, it goes all the way to the basics. If you don't know what sage is, like, I have a client who thought it was sage. And I was like, that's awesome. Like,
oh, cute. I love that. Sage. That's
after reading the book. So I was like, that's perfect. You can still call it sage and still get all the benefits. So it's for total beginners. And it's also for people who are already well-versed in saging and journaling. Like me, I still refer back to the book and go through the practices because it's really lovely to like go back to the basics and remember what it's all about.
It's true. Like, even like with asana practice, like, it's beautiful to go back to a basic practice, or like, bring the blocks out, use props and all of that, because it grounds us again. And then we get to rediscover it as a whole new different person.
Yes, exactly.
Funny story about the sage too. Well, not funny, but yeah, because when we talk about sage, it's like second nature to us, but there are so many people that are opening up to rituals and the spiritual community, and they're still facing a lot of guilt and uncertainty, because it can either be related to something, a religious background. So I've had people literally like, Leslie, where can I buy this? What is it? Is this against my religion? My family's saying that this is not good, that it's witchcraft. And so I think just like really creating something for people that don't really know is amazing. And it goes so perfectly with then the Soul Healing Sisterhood too, because now they can have friends that are learning too, or just like continuing to grow. So it all goes so perfectly well together. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We had a transform group for a while, a small coaching group that we were going through all the practices together. And then Sarah and I also curated like supplemental practices, like video style. So whether it was work or asana or different meditations and different things like that. And so now after the group is over, we also sell a bundle that's like the book and the supplemental practices. So people can either get the book or the bundle that has all of it together.
Okay. And that's on soulhealingsisterhood.com, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. So your new book.
Yes.
What's going on? Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. Writing a book is a process. Okay. So this is a book I'm writing, a book. And it's called Loving the Woman in the Mirror. Mm-hmm. And then the subtitle is How to Transform People Pleasing into Thriving Relationships. So drink that.
Feel that. Yeah. I just went through. Yeah. I know. Yeah. We're in a very similar book.
Are you writing the same book, Leslie?
Very similar.
Through your life. Yes. Well, I mean, what's that?
The people pleasing.
Yes. And it's something that I think most women are dealing with, whether or not they realize it, and they've come around to calling it that yet, because as women, since we were young, we learned that's how we were supposed to be, right?
Totally.
So times are changing, of which I'm so thankful. And so it feels like the right time to be writing this book, to be like, okay, so we've recognized there's a problem, and this doesn't need to be the way that we are anymore. We don't have to just give of ourselves and give of ourselves and give of ourselves until we're burned out, or until we're like having a midlife crisis, or we wake up one day and we're like, wait, who am I? All of these things have happened to me. So I speak from very painful personal experiences, but for which I'm thankful, because I have a lot of, increased empathy, I think, for others, and just like this lens that makes me motivated to write this book, but yeah, so but first you have to recognize that there's a problem, but then it's like, so what do I do about it? And it can be very daunting. This is stuff that we learned since we were children, and we were taught that women are the reason for the fall of humanity because Eve ate the apple. From day one, we're like, oh, I'm bad. I should be ashamed. So now I need to just my whole life be working to get the approval of others, just to like atone for all the stuff that I did wrong for just being a woman. I mean, I could go off on tangents, but anyway,
this is one level of it.
Just one level. There's so many layers. But so this book is going to be like a step-by-step, how do you crawl yourself out of that hole and like start to really, really, truly begin to love the woman in the mirror, which is the hard for a lot of women to even consider doing.
It is, especially like the word mirror, and like to look at yourself in the mirror is one of the hardest things you can do.
Isn't it? And that's a practice I'm really passionate about. And I share with clients, it's a more advanced practice, honestly, like you have to go through. And so it's not until like maybe chapter 15 that we start talking about actual mirror work, but it's on purpose, that's part of the title. It's like, yes, actually we should be able to look at ourselves in the eyes lovingly in the mirror and be like, thank you. You are beautiful, and mean it. And is a journey to get there, but mirror work, doing that actual thing, you know, looking at yourself in the mirror and saying things that are loving, or just being honest, you know, whatever it is. But even the first step, just being able to look in your own eyes without just looking away and not being able to handle it. It's very powerful. So yeah, I go into that.
Yeah. And for people that think, well, okay, you're looking into a mirror, it's like, well, try looking at yourself in the mirror for 2 minutes straight.
Yeah.
It's very, it's always a little different, but to me, it was one of the scariest things, like just like eye gazing with a partner or mirror gazing. And now, I mean, that's what I do with my clients too, is look at yourself in the mirror, look at each other. And it's so powerful each time.
It is.
But I think it's an amazing way to check in with your spirit. Because ultimately, when you look at yourself in the mirror and you're looking in your eyes, like you recognize that spirit looking back at you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always a beautiful thing, no matter if it's difficult or not. Like, it's a beautiful check-in.
Yes, it is. And if you're struggling or you're stressed, you see that immediately in your eyes, right? And then you're like, oh, wait, I didn't even realize I was stressed. Hold on, wait, what am I stressed about? And then you get that moment to have that pause and be like, what do I need? And maybe you wouldn't.
With the rituals too, like with all of it, because after you do something as simple as, you know, lighting that candle and bringing your hands together and just taking a deep breath in gratitude, and you let that wash over you, then you're like walking back into the world or maybe the next bedroom and you're like, holy shit, like I feel like a different person now. And you want to keep carrying that with you. You want to stay in that love stream. So you'll notice like the amounts of rituals you do are going to increase too. So it's just like it's a life's work, you know. It's like it doesn't end.
Yes. And so that's another beautiful ritual, you know, is every time you're looking in the mirror to put on your makeup or to wash your face, to be like, hi, gorgeous. How are you today? And just check in with yourself really in the mirror. That can be such a powerful ritual. I love that you just said love stream. That's a really sweet, and I totally that now.
Yeah, that's been usually if I see like 1111 or anything, I like to take it as like a sign from the universe, and I'll always do my wish is always to remain in the love stream, because you can feel these lanes, you know, that you can choose where you want to be. You know, I truly do believe that we can create our own reality. And it starts with a lot of mindfulness and a lot of work on our minds and shifting into our hearts, but and energy work, of course, but that love stream is always available. It's just like, are you going to go into it? Are you going to allow yourself to just be swept in there and be a part of it? So these rituals are what help me, you know, stay there, because it's so easy to go into the other lane, whatever it may be, right? Negativity or whatever. So it's important to maintain, you know, a regular practice and have support and community. And that's what this is. That's what you're doing for so many. So.
Yes, I love that. That was a beautiful description.
Thank you. So what's next? I have what?
You have a way with words.
Thank you. All right. So when is your book going to be coming out? I know you're in the process of writing it. But what can people expect, or what's the ETA on it?
Girl, I have no idea, but I'll tell you what my goal is for this month.
Okay.
That's where I'm at in the process.
Wait,
I don't know, to hire an editor. I don't know in world what that means, but you know what? I'm going rock climbing with my friend who's a book editor tonight, and I'm gonna pick her brain and I'm gonna figure out what this really means, because the process that I'm at, I'm like, I could just keep writing this forever. Like, when is the end point? Because every time I have a session with a client, I'm like newly inspired and I want to put their story. It just keeps happening, and now there's too much. So we're gonna time on rocks and we're going to talk about it, and I'm gonna be like, what do I do? So this February is my window that I'm like, I'm going to be done adding content in February, and I'm going to bring in an editor into the picture. So I feel like at that point the ball is rolling, and then I don't know though how long it takes between editing and publishing. And right now I'm planning on self-publishing, because I don't want to go through the process of like, please take my book, tell me that I'm good enough. I don't know. I just have this feeling that it would be a very disheartening process to be like knocking on publishers' doors when I don't have that. I've never written a book before. I don't have like, I don't know, like this massive following or something. I just feel like for right now, it would be easier to self-publish. And then in the future, maybe I have that book to show for myself, and then maybe I could get a publisher involved. So anyway, I'm thinking
you never know, and you never know either. So it's like, that's the amazing like part of it all is like, sometimes we have ideas in our heads and we think we know something. And then all of a sudden it's like something shifts and you have your editor and you're being published. But, so it's like, who knows? Thank you for sharing your journey with writing this book though. I love your honesty and, yeah, I think the book is right up my alley. So you're my girl.
Thank you. You're my girl. I'm so excited it speaks to you. And yeah, I just hope that it'll get into a lot of people's hands because I see this right now as being what the world needs.
Big time. I definitely do as well. I feel like a lot of us are getting our power back. We're getting to know ourselves better and understand like what we are truly capable of. So perfect timing as always.
Thank you.
Anything else in the future? I mean, any travel plans? I know we're in COVID, but like, are you going to be in Idaho still? Are you teaching in person there or coaching in person there?
So at the moment, I moved my whole practice to online because I was traveling. I was just in Mexico for the last 2 months. I just got back to Idaho. So I got to soak in the sun, which I'm really grateful for.
Wow. Where did you go in Mexico?
Well, I was at first in Mexico City and then surrounding like Tepoztlan and Teotihuacan. And then I was in Zihuatanejo, which is the most beautiful place ever. And then I was in Oaxaca and then I was in, oh, really? And then I was in the Cancun area.
I did not know you were all about, oh my gosh. I'm jelly right now.
Oh my gosh. So I moved everything online for that reason. And now I actually have an interview coming up next week for a PhD program and it's in Arkansas. So I might be moving to Arkansas next year. So that's the other reason I wanted to keep things online so that I could just move my practice. I could be wherever. So right now I'm not teaching online or I am teaching only online, not in person. Okay. And I also just became an official Insight Timer teacher. So that's just another place. Yes. I'm meditation so everyone can access them.
I've been using that app forever.
Me too.
Forever. And I mostly use it for the timer. I love like the sound bowl. I mostly use it for the timer and then it tracks how often you're using it, which is nice, but they have amazing teachers that go live and take you into deep meditations. So I'm so excited for you. What's that about? For people that don't know Insight Timer app, it's the #1 app, right? For sleep, stress, and anxiety.
Yes. They have like 17 million people on there now, I guess. Can you believe it? It just blew up. And what I'm so impressed with them being a teacher. They have such great teacher support. Like they've just really risen up with how much it's grown, even though that wasn't ever their vision and they didn't think it was going to happen, but it had
before.
What's that?
Like I never noticed all the lives that they have on there with all the teachers and they're amazing teachers.
They are. I don't know how long they've been doing it, but not for that long. So I do have some live events coming up the next 2 Mondays, or actually this coming Monday, and then the 2 after that. So the 8th and the 22nd, I'm doing lives at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time.
All right. So that's going to be Feb 8th.
Yes. And the 22nd. So they're 2 days at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. So the first one's going to be on, it's a meditation for managing difficult emotions. And the second one is cultivating compassion.
Awesome. Okay, cool. There's so many ways we can connect with you now. All of them. Easy, yes. All digital. So no matter where you're at in the world, you can connect with Dia and her community of soul sisters, from the feathers, from the feathers to the rituals to the new platform that you're extending, Soul Healing Sisterhood. All of those links are going to be down below. And also you're on Instagram.
Yes. What's that?
Facebook is a Soul Healing Sisterhood, but then on Instagram, you have your personal account too, which is going to have all the updates on when you're going live on Insight Timer.
Yeah, always. I always update Instagram and my Facebook business page. So on Instagram, it's dia.soul.therapist.
Okay. I think a lot of people are going to resonate with you and appreciate your genuine loving nature. So, you just deserve all the success and keep creating what comes from your heart.
Thank you so much, Leslie. It's so nice to connect with you in this way. And thank you for all wonderful things you're doing in this world.
Yes. And I can't wait to hug you again because you have the best hugs ever.
Oh my God. Yeah. I have a feeling we're going to go meet up in Sedona and have like an epic desert moment.
Let's do it. We're going to make it happen. We didn't get to do it last year, but it's going to happen this year.
It will. I believe it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for everyone tuning in. Yeah, lots of love to you all and blessings. Until next time. Mwah.
Mwah. Bye.